In this exercise, we are going to start with this sketch of this map, and in the end, we will get this illustration. File, place, exercise 20, check template, place, and now we're going to start with drawing the islands. We're going to start with this one. I'm going to zoom some more and choose the pen tool. I'm going to set the fill to none, stroke black and stroke weight 5 points, and I'm going to start from here. Click 1 point, click and drag, 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 click and drag like this, 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 continue, I'm gonna anchor this, create a curve like this, and now I'm gonna close the path. We're done with the first island. I'm gonna move to the other one. I'm gonna zoom some more. And I'm gonna start from here. Click and drag. Control Z. I'm gonna go back. Click and drag. Anchor. Click and drag. Click and drag. Like this. Anchor. Click and drag. Click and drag. Click. Click and drag like this. Click and drag like this. Anchor. Click and drag. Anchor. Click and drag. Anchor. Anchor. Click and drag. Anchor. Anchor. Curve right here. Click and drag. Anchor. Click and drag. Anchor. Click and drag. Click and drag. Click and drag. Click and drag. Anchor. Click and drag. 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 Anchor. anchor, Control Z. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna anchor this and come here, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, like this, click and drag, click, click and drag, and finally now we can close the path. It took a long time, but now we have the two islands drawn. Selection tool, I'm gonna select this one, gonna zoom like this, and now I'm gonna apply a gradient to this island. I have to go to gradient tool, of course make sure the fill is in front, and I'm gonna choose a new type of gradient that we didn't apply in an exercise before, which is this free form gradient. I'm gonna open the gradient window as well. I can either apply it from here or from here. Click like this. Now we have 4 points here. We can move the points anywhere we want. First of all, I'm gonna set this to points and not lines. Points. We have 4 points. I'm gonna place them like this. 1 point here, 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 and here. I'm gonna create a new point here and another point here. We have 6 in total, like this, and I'm gonna add another point in the center, just like this. Now, gonna double click on this. I'm gonna set this to a very light green, and for the rest, double click. I'm gonna set all of the rest of the points to this dark shade of green. Click, move to the next, double click, dark green, double click, double click, and finally this one, same color, dark green. I'm gonna click on this point and I'm gonna slightly increase the spread by clicking and dragging this point like this. I won't go all the way, just a little bit like this, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm still using the gradient tool. I'm gonna press Ctrl, access the selection tool, and select this part now. Gonna zoom a little bit, and same thing. I'm gonna click here, free form gradient. Gonna apply the same type, draw set 2 points. Gonna put 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here. I'm gonna add it, and we have 1 point here. We're gonna add 1 point here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points here, and I'm gonna add 1 point here, 1 point here, and 1 point right here. Gonna double click on this one. We're gonna set this to light green. This one, same color, light green, and this one, same color, light green. This point, double click. I'm gonna set this to dark green. This is already set to dark green. This one, change the color like this. This one, dark green. This one, dark green, and this one, dark green. Finally, this last point, double click and choose the same color. Now we have the two islands. We apply the gradient to both of them. Maybe I'm gonna change this point. I'm gonna put it here, and this point I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna press V selection tool. I'm gonna select both of them, and I'm gonna change the stroke from black to none. Now I'm going to draw the ocean. I'm gonna click on the rectangle tool. Gonna set the color to dark blue and put the cursor right here. Click and drag and draw a rectangle as big as the artboard. Now I'm gonna right click, arrange, send to back. Now I'm gonna go back to gradient tool, and I'm gonna apply the same type of gradient, this type freeform gradient. Click, and here by default we get 4 points. Draw right here is set to points. I'm gonna change this to lines. I'm gonna click here, gonna double click this and set the color to dark blue. I continue, I create another point here, and I'm gonna create another point here. Now I can go ahead and press escape. I'm gonna select these points that came by default, and I'm gonna delete them one by one. Click, delete, click, delete, click, delete. I'm gonna now make 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here. And I draw a line around the island like this, and go back to the first point and connect them. Now I'm gonna change the color to light blue. Gonna change them one by one. Now I'm gonna go to this island. I'm gonna create 1 point here. I'm gonna gain time. I'm not gonna draw an entire line with white and then change the color. I'm gonna double click and choose the blue color, the light blue color, and from here I can click another point like this, and create a line like this made of the same blue color, and I draw around the island like this. And I go back to the first point, and I can now connect them, close the line like this. I'm gonna now click here, double click. I'm gonna set this to a dark blue like this. 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here. And go back to the first point and connect them like this. Gonna go to the bottom part and do the same thing. Click here, double click, choose the dark blue color. Click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, click, click several times like this. And now I can go ahead and connect the line like this. Now I'm gonna move this point a little bit here, this point a little bit here. I'm gonna move this point a little bit here and this point a little bit here. I think this looks good. Maybe this point here, like this, and this point here. I think that this looks fine. I'm gonna close the gradient window, V selection tool, gonna open the layers window, and I'm gonna unsee this layer. Now I'm gonna create another layer, create new layer, and I'm gonna zoom a little bit and continue drawing the map. I'm gonna choose line segment tool, gonna choose the color red, stroke 10 points. Gonna create a line like this and another line like this. Gonna press Control selection tool, select both of them, and I'm gonna set this to width profile 1, like this. V selection tool. They're both selected. I can press Alt and duplicate like this. Put the other one here. Press Alt, duplicate, put one here. Alt and put one here. I'm gonna go back right here, select the line segment tool, choose the color yellow, and one line from here to here, and I'm gonna set this to 10 points like this. Now I'm gonna select the pen tool and I'm gonna draw a path. Click here, click and drag like this, 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 and one last point here, and press escape. V selection tool, I'm gonna select this and turn it red. I don't know what happened, I changed it by mistake. Go back, pen tool, this time I'm gonna choose the color orange, click, gonna click and drag like this, draw one line like this, and put the cursor right here, click and drag like this. Now I created one line, press escape, and I'm gonna change this to 10 points. I'm gonna click here, click and drag here, click and drag here, and click and drag here, draw another line. I'm gonna select both of these lines, both of them, and I'm gonna add a small arrow to both of them. So stroke, I'm gonna go here, click and choose arrow 2. As you notice, now we have a arrowhead in both lines. I'm gonna change the size of the arrowhead from 100% to 50% and press enter like this. I'm gonna go to direct selection tool. I'm gonna zoom and make sure everything is in the right place, and I'm gonna move this a little bit here. I'm gonna click on this point and I'm gonna click and move this right here. V selection tool, I'm gonna select this line now, stroke, I'm gonna check dashed line, I'm gonna activate it, I'm gonna set dash to 20 points and gap 20 points as well, and get this dashed line. Gonna go here, select this line, stroke, activate dashed line. I'm gonna set dash to 0. We get very small thin lines like this. I'm gonna change the cap from butt cap to round cap. Now we get small circles like this. And I'm gonna change the gap from 20 to, let's say, 70 points like this. And I'm gonna change also the stroke weight from 10 to 20. I think this looks good. I can use the direct selection tool and I can move if I want to, like this. I always use the drawing as a reference, of course. I can make it match the drawing. I think this looks fine. One last thing I'm gonna add. I'm gonna open the symbols window right here, or of course go to window and look for symbols somewhere. Right here, symbols, and click here, symbol libraries. I'm gonna open a library, symbol libraries menu, and I'm gonna click on maps. We get this library. We get some options to choose from. I'm gonna choose the symbol of the boat. I'm gonna click and drag like this. This is too small. I'm gonna zoom, press shift and V selection tool. I'm gonna make it bigger like this. I'm gonna go to this symbol, the airplane symbol, and click and drag like this. Using selection tool, I'm gonna press shift and make it a little bit bigger like this. I think they are almost the same size. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger like this, almost the same size. Now I'm gonna close the library and I'm gonna close the symbols window. I'm gonna place this right here. Go to layers window and I'm gonna click here to see layer 1. I'm gonna go to this symbol. I'm gonna press shift. I'm gonna rotate it like this, 90 degrees, and I'm gonna place it right here. Place it right there, and I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna place this symbol right here. Now the exercise is finished. You go do the same and don't forget to save.